In this session, we talk about intellectual property, copyright, and legal uncertainty in the usage of AI. Artificial intelligence systems generate content with remarkable speed and fluency. Text, code, images, and designs appear on demand, often indistinguishable from human created work. This capability raises a fundamental question: who owns what AI creates, and what risks accompany its use? Intellectual property law was not designed for probabilistic systems trained on vast corporation of existing works. As a result, AI usage operates in a space of legal uncertainty where ownership, liability, and infringement are often unclear. This section explores why AI complicates intellectual property frameworks, where the risks lie, and why governance matters more than legal certainty alone. Why AI disrupts traditional IP models. Intellectual property law assumes identifiable creators, deliberate acts, and traceable sources. AI systems break these assumptions. They generate content without intent, draw from statistical patterns across massive datasets, and produce outputs that may resemble existing works without copying directly. The line between inspiration, transformation, and infringement becomes blurred. Training data and the question of rights. AI models are trained on large datasets that may include copyrighted material. This raises unresolved questions. Does training constitute copying? Does it require consent? Who's responsible for ensuring lawful data use? Different jurisdictions approach these questions differently. Legal frameworks are evolving slowly. Until clarity emerges, uncertainty persists. Outputs and infringement risk. Even if training is lawful, outputs may still create risk. AI generated content can closely resemble existing works, replicate distinctive styles, and reproduce protected expressions. This creates potential exposure for users who rely on AI generated outputs without verification. Intent does not eliminate liability. The illusion of originality. AI outputs often feel original because they are newly generated. But originality in law is not about novelty alone. It is about independent creative expression. When AI recombines patterns from existing works, the boundary between originality and derivation becomes difficult to assess. Users cannot assume safety based on appearance. Ownership of AI generated content. Ownership is another area of uncertainty. Questions include: can AI generated content be copyrighted? Who owns it? The user, the provider, or no one? Does ownership vary by jurisdiction? Answers differ globally. In some contexts, AI generated works may not be protected at all, leaving them vulnerable to reuse by others. Code generation and licensing risk. AI generated code introduces specific challenges. Models trained on open source repositories may reproduce code patterns associated with specific licenses. If code is reused without respecting licensing terms, organizations may inadvertently violate obligations. This is particularly risky in commercial and proprietary environments. Confidential information and IP leakage. When proprietary information is shared with AI systems, new IP risk emerges. Even without training exposure, sharing sensitive material can create additional copies, can introduce third party access, or complicate ownership claims. Once disclosed, control weakens. IP protection depends on restraint as much as law. Derivative works and attribution. AI generated content may resemble existing works without clear attribution. This raises ethical and reputational concerns even where legal liability is unclear. Using AI responsibly includes acknowledging uncertainty, not assuming absolution. Regulatory and contractual uncertainty. Contracts often lag technology. Many agreements do not address AI generated content, data usage rights, or liability allocation. This creates ambiguity in commercial relationships. Organizations must review and update contracts to reflect AI realities. While legal uncertainty is a risk factor, uncertainty itself is risk. It complicates decision making, compliance, dispute resolution, and risk transfer. Operating in uncertain legal environments requires conservative assumptions and clear governance. Governance over guesswork. Because law is evolving, governance must fill the gap. Responsible AI usage includes clear policies on acceptable use, review of AI generated outputs, restrictions on sensitive applications, and legal review where stakes are high. Governance reduces exposure even when law is unsettled. Why this matters for finance professionals? Financial institutions operate under heightened regulatory scrutiny. IP disputes, copyright claims, and licensing violations can trigger audits, cause reputational damage, and create legal liability. AI usage must be aligned with risk appetite and compliance obligations. The key takeaways are AI challenges traditional intellectual property frameworks by blurring authorship, originality, and ownership. Legal clarity is still emerging. Until it does, responsible AI use depends less on certainty and more on governance, clear policies, careful review, and conservative assumptions. Uncertainty is not an excuse for inaction, it is a reason for discipline.